It's like this little dirty little bass line.
I don't fucking care. Can we move on to a new segment, please?
Welcome to Just Two Fans, a sports show about sports,
Obviously.
about life,
Because sports are life.
and about just whatever the hell we feel like talking about. So, let's go.
What is up, everybody? Hi, Cameron. Say hi, Cameron.
Hi, Cameron. What's good, y'all?
I'm Jay Freelander, and my co-host today is super producer Cam.
Hello.
Because Eli apparently thinks that things are too important.
Oh,
for him
I'm
to do
busy.
this
I
show.
have a life. Pfft. Loser.
I mean, that's easy for me to say. I wasn't here last week,
This is true.
but
But-
I was halfway across the world.
I'm just saying, these days I've been the constant.
That is true.
And that's really sad in some way for me.
We should maybe we should change the show name to just a super producer.
Super producer plus whoever's around. Like,
Super producer and friends.
yeah. Super producer, mystery guest. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah, just us today. Chris is on dad duty. Eli's doing whatever Eli's doing. But we got the college football playoff coming this weekend, and we couldn't just skip that.
Yeah, we could not talk about it.
This is a college football show, and
Mhm.
Eli decides before the best playoff college football has ever fucking seen, he decides that he's too busy. That's just
It's a
Weak
bold
shit.
move.
it's weak. It's weak sauce.
Bold.
It's weak sauce. I had the foresight to plan my honeymoon 2 years ago, at least a week before the playoff.
Like, statistically, it takes place this weekend, and that's the beginning of bowl season. So at most, I'll miss 3 games.
Exactly. See,
I get it. I get it.
yeah, got to plan ahead.
Gotta
Gotta
plan
plan
ahead
ahead.
in this racket.
Let's just jump right in. We got Trackside first. Not a lot going on in
No.
F1 land,
Not a
but
lot going on. Season's over. End of season testing is over as well. So not a lot of news. Nothing big yet. Biggest rumors out there right now are the future of Sergio Checo Perez at Red Bull, is the number 2 driver. It's a lot of rumors. Like, it's people saying, like, prominent folks in the F1 journalism community saying he's out. They're just trying to craft a message. Others, unconfirmed reports coming from the paddock that, they saw him get kicked, like whatever, but nothing official yet. It's likely that it has happened if it's gonna happen, and they're just waiting on PR to craft a message and probably to see if he lands somewhere and do some back channel dealings. So it's not like he's out on his ass without a shelter.
I would be shocked
Mm-hmm.
if he was back in that car next year. Shocked.
Yeah, I mean, he had a terrible year.
Terrible.
So just nothing really going for him. So that's really all we got. I mean, there's a couple things. Magnuson did an interview now that he's gone, and really he was just like, I was in F1 for 10 years. Like, he was as surprised as anybody else that he was there that long, and then he got to come back once.
Yeah.
And he did some good things with Haas. Like, Haas was looking good with Kevin and Nico. So hopefully they're in a good they're gonna be in a good spot going forward. Saw a couple reports that Danny Ricciardo had a pop-up event in New York for his brand Enchante, and he got interviewed, and he said, I'm done. He doesn't want to come back, because that definitely the rumor mill started churning stuff out when Cadillac got approved.
Mhm.
To get the the unofficial official American on the team, at least the best and biggest personality out there. So but no, it sounds like he kind of shut that down, and that's about all we got. Something cool for the end of season testing. Carlos got to drive a Ferrari car one more time and he got to drive it with his father in the number 2 car.
I did see that. That was
So
really cool.
that's a really class send off for both of them. For his exit from Ferrari to do that with his father, who is also a Formula One driver, and just kind of get that experience. And Carlos Sainz Sr. drove Junior's car around the track. So
yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Class way to go out. And now we got the off season, and people scramble to take all the data they got from the last few races and the whole season, really, with how cars improved, and get ready to put them back on a track for a competitive weekend starting the 13th of March. So we got testing and stuff. I think the 26th of February, but free practice 1 starts Thursday, March 13th in Australia.
That's such a wild calendar, dude, with like how we're used to it with American sports, right? Like you get like a 4 or 5 month break.
Mm-hmm.
Get what, like 2.5 months before we got F1 back?
Yeah.
That's pretty, I mean, it's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, and I mean, these guys are, it's not like they're off. Like they might get a couple of weeks now that postseason testing's over.
Yeah.
And then they're back in the sims and helping with engineering, and looking at, wind tunnel data. So, they're back at it. And that's why, I mean, it's a grueling sport, not just for on the track, but your time. It's, every day
how
of the
much
week.
they have to travel too.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the calendar year. I mean, yeah, they get that month break in August or whatever, but
with travel and stuff, that's really 2.5 weeks. Like,
Yeah, I mean, they go around the globe like 3 or 4 times a year.
So that's kind of the wait. We'll see what happens. Again with Checo's seat, it looks like Rumor Mill has decided it's going to be Liam Lawson, which it's a bold strategy by Helmut, but
very bold.
I think that Yuki is just a little too reckless sometimes.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. Yuki is totally reckless.
So if that's the case, if that's the reasoning, that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
What I got for Trackside. Not a lot, but
not a lot. That's good because we got a lot of college football to talk about.
We do.
So before we get into that, Broncos have secured their first winning season since 2016.
Yes, sir.
One Bo Nix.
Nix regard.
That's something.
He's from Alabama, probably at some point. Like
probably.
Mm-hmm. We can look back and find a name. We just don't want to look back too far. You know what I'm saying?
Fair. That's fair. All right. College football. First, Travis Hunter wins the Heisman Trophy.
He did.
The weekend.
He did.
Well-deserved, man. I know there's a lot of backlash out there about this, and I am not here for 1 second for any Travis Hunter hate. And this is not just because I'm a CU fan. That's a big part of it. Travis Hunter is the most unique athlete I've ever seen live, period.
Yeah.
And the people that are out there hating on him, you clearly just didn't watch, which is fine. If you didn't watch him, then just say, I didn't really see Travis, but Ashton Genty deserved the Heisman. And I can't really argue with you because any other year, Ashton Genty wins the Heisman.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's been the biggest takeaway in what I've seen is people are coming at him, but it's clearly they didn't watch. Like you said, if I'd only watched Travis and like seeing him in person is one thing compared to just seeing highlights. Like that kid's out there every play, putting in full effort. But so like I get it, but yeah, I mean I could have gone either way for me.
I also think here's what people get caught up in, and I've even heard big media personalities who vote on this award talk about this. It's not an MVP trophy.
Nope.
It's the most outstanding college football player.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the most valuable.
Yeah, we went down a terrible rabbit hole where it was like the best player on the best team for the while,
and then
the best quarterback on the best team, and we're finally back to the best player.
It's the best player,
most outstanding player, and I mean, when you look at how he finished the season in his rankings per position, to do that on both sides of the ball, I think that's the most impressive thing. What people don't get is like, well, he wasn't the number one receiver or the number one cornerback. Yeah, but he was in the top 5 and he was on the field, but on both sides of the ball the whole time and
To
getting
be
those spots.
to be top 5 at 2 positions is insane.
Yeah.
And I think people just like I don't know if they just can't like comprehend what they're seeing.
Mhm.
That's what it feels like to me. Like you
Yeah.
just don't get it.
It's not, and like I think that's the thing with awards, right? And especially an award like this, it's not a knock on Genty. It's literally
all.
a higher praise on what Travis was able to do.
Literally any other year in the last since probably I don't know, Reggie Bush. Even that year, Reggie Bush probably would have beat Ashton Genty. Any other year, Ashton Genty might win this award. It's going to be hard to take it away from people like Cam Newton in 2010
Mhm.
or Marcus in 2014 or Derrick Henry after that. But again, this is nothing against Ashton Genty. And I know I was giving Chris all kinds of shit last week, but Chris isn't one of the ones out here saying that Travis is garbage, right? Chris is
Yeah.
just like, I would have voted for Ashton, which is fine.
Yeah.
I think you can have wrong takes. But you don't have to be disrespectful about it on the
Yeah.
other side. And if you just don't like Colorado because you don't like Dion, just fucking say it. Like, just say, I hate Colorado. I hate Deion Sanders. And I'm not in favor of anything that anybody on that team does.
Yeah, at least
Because
suck up
that's
to
what
it,
it
'cause,
feels like.
you know, honestly, I'd appreciate that. Like, I would respect that more
I
than just like blanket hatred that appears to be blind. Like, just
uh,
say why.
well,
At least like, you know, you got your opinions, and at least you can say them out loud.
and unfortunately, Duck fans are out here, the ones that are some of the loudest saying snaps aren't a stat. It's like, you guys need to shut the fuck up.
But it was hilarious when the Duck did it on the Pat McAfee show. I
It
laughed.
it was funny and good for a bit, but like you can't like that's a mascot being a mascot.
Exactly.
You can't make that your entire fucking argument.
And unfortunately, that is not the only argument you need. You do need more.
Also, yeah, correct. Snaps are not a stat. So like if he was like top 50 in both positions, like very mid at both positions, okay, yeah. Snaps alone are not going to win you a Heisman. He's top 5 in both.
Yeah.
And then people out here saying like, well, he doesn't have the tackling stats. You don't want tackling stats if you're a cornerback.
No, because that shows you're vulnerable.
That's bad.
Yeah,
It
you
shows
don't
your
want a
defense
cornerback.
sucks.
Yeah, like if
Also-
a cornerback's getting like 12 targets a game and has 6 tackles, he's not good.
Also, there are like the best corners in college football don't even get like you can't get picks because they don't throw to you.
No, it was one game that I think in like the first half he had his receiver or to his side only had 3 targets.
There was a game that he had none.
Yeah,
He played the whole game. He had 0 targets. How are you supposed to get stats?
exactly.
So like cornerback is a position that is not stat driven.
Mm-mm.
You can have crazy outlier seasons where you get like 8 interceptions,
Yeah.
but like as a corner, you essentially don't want to appear on the stat sheet.
Also, when he put his shoulder on that ball that caused the fumble into the end zone,
That's what I'm
I
saying,
was
dude.
pretty much wrapping up the Heisman for him at that point. Because
That's
like
what I'm
that's
saying, man.
the knowledge to do that, like, and
He's
not
so
a
clutch.
and he's not a big dude. Like he is
He's
so
tiny.
talented, like just talented with how he plays on the ball. And I think it's going to serve him really well at the next level, having played both positions, especially if he plays receiver.
Yeah, I mean, his ball skills at corner are unmatched.
Yeah.
So like if he is to pick a position in the NFL or if somebody was to pick one for him, it has to be at corner. Cuz like you just can't teach his ball skills in the defensive backfield. You can't do it.
Yeah, especially when, you know, QBs start realizing that they're throwing at another receiver. Just
Another elite receiver
with a
That's
different
the thing.
jersey. Like you're
Yeah.
throwing a 50-50 ball if it's
to a
close, like
receiver. Yeah.
to a guy who will make unbelievably ridiculous catches.
insane. That's the other thing. It's like even the first game of the year, his first touchdown pass. I don't think anybody else makes that catch.
No.
He was fucking getting clotheslined and caught the ball behind the guy.
Yeah, he just like, it's going to be here, so I'll close my hands. And that's what he did. He couldn't see it.
And like the catch that he had against Utah, where he just like went up in the middle of 3 guys, 15 feet in the air and caught the ball. Like, he's just a freak.
Yeah.
Again, this is not shade to Ashton Genty. Ashton
Not at all.
Genty is an animal and had a hell of a season. But the people that are out here saying, well, I took the fact that Boise State made it into the playoff into consideration. It's like, then you don't know what this award is.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about.
If your argument was without him, they don't make it into the playoff, then that's the right way to look at that. Like, that's looking at him
that
as,
is what they're saying. They're saying he is the reason they made the playoff, which is valid. But where your team finished off should not have that, like, should have this much weight in the Heisman.
That's why they do this before the national championship.
Correct.
Before bowl
It
game.
shouldn't matter.
It's regular season, baby.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter.
So.
Again, no shade to Ashton Genty. He's a phenomenal running back. I hope he's in Denver next year.
Biggest surprise of the evening, Dylan Gabriel, number 3.
That was shocking.
I did not expect that.
But that shows you how many old heads vote. Best player on the best team.
Because he still got like 26 first place votes.
24, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
That's
first of all, the 7% of voters that didn't vote for Travis at all. What the fuck?
That's
what are you doing? And there's 5% that didn't vote for Ashton Genty at all.
Yeah.
Like, what are you guys looking at?
Like, guys, no, those should have been your 1 and 2.
And so those people had to just have 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, probably Dylan, Cam Ward, Shador. Because Shador finished 5th.
Yeah. Had to be. But like, terrible. Anyway, good for Travis. I love it. The Colorado hate is going to keep flowing. I do not believe Deion's going anywhere. I think he is sticking around. He has said it repeatedly, but I now believe it. Like, he's chasing these guys in the portal. He went hard at recruiting this year.
Yeah.
He would not be putting in that effort and turning these guys' lives upside down if he was going to just uproot it. Now, the transfer rules and everything, somebody could come calling. Obviously, there are bags out there that could be thrown at him. I just don't think Deion's fully in this for that. I think he has something to prove here, and I think he wants to be a legend in Colorado, and he's well on his way to doing that.
Yeah, I mean, with what he's already done, what he is poised to do, I mean, he takes it, in the next 2 years, he takes his Colorado team to a Big 12 championship. They win. He takes them to a college football playoff. It's
win a game or two in that.
It builds, like you said, the legend and like the legacy of what Deion Sanders has been able to do his entire career from athlete to coach.
Yeah, I fully believe that Deion wants a statue outside of Folsom. I think that's what he wants.
He's gonna get one.
If he stays,
he'll be right next to the buffalo with his hand on the back. It'll be
right there. Yeah,
right there.
Or he'll just be riding it the whole way. Yeah, man. I think he's here to stay. All right. Let's jump into some reactions from the one game that happened last week, Army-Navy. We all just totally bombed this.
About as bad as Army did.
No, they did worse than we did. Army looked bad on
pedestrian.
Saturday. Navy,
so bad.
Navy quite literally just ran all over them.
Yeah, that's Army's offensive line. The hell of a way to show up after getting the best offensive line of the year award.
What the hell was that?
Like missing assignments, like just getting absolutely blown out.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how many missed assignments there were. Like guard pulls that were going nowhere.
They couldn't do anything, man.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Those Navy linebackers just they had a field day.
Yeah, they did.
They said, "Welcome to our swimming pool. Army doesn't know how to
Good
swim.
luck. Yeah.
We got both."
It was a great looking game. Those uniforms were tight as fuck.
Yeah, navies were. I like the pirate flag. I wish they'd been a little bit more bold, and I know because traditionally they do have the away team in white, and they try to do something around it. It was cool. The pirate flags were dope. The helmets, Navy's helmets were really sweet. So if they'd done some sort of full color, top,
Yeah.
especially with Army going black, those Bastogne jerseys and helmets with like the snow on them, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was cool. Do you know why? I think you probably do. You probably do. The story of why it said ARMY on the back.
I read said story and I have since forgot said story.
So during the Battle of the Bulge,
Yes.
once the airborne was completely cut off, the German commanders sent them a letter requesting that they surrender and finish the war, in style and just peacefully in a camp. And he sent a 4-letter word back. The general did, and it was nuts. With an exclamation point. Just nuts. And so that was the take on it.
Fantastic.
And it, and they held, but Army just they got too much to deal with last weekend.
Yeah, I mean Navy balled out.
Navy did. They really did.
No two ways about it. Much to Helmet's pleasure.
We don't talk about him.
Yeah, man. Who's that quarterback for New? Oh, Blake Horvath. Dude was all over the place. 204 rushing yards, 107 passing yards on 4 completions.
Yeah, they were huge completions. Just
yeah, I mean, but
nuts plays.
This game historically not a lot of pass. This game had 25 passing attempts total.
Yeah,
and that's only because Army was in desperation mode for the entire fourth quarter.
Yep.
So yeah, just utter domination by Navy. This game's always just awesome though. Yeah, just one of the coolest things in college football.
It really is. They have really cool traditions. I love the singing of the anthem. You always want to go second because you go over and you sing the anthem for the school that loses.
The losing team, right.
They do the cadet trade. So like for the whole semester, I think 6 or 8 of each school have gone to the other school to learn, and they trade them back at the beginning. And so it's just a very, very cool thing. It is unfortunate that, Army went 11-2 this season. And then to get rewarded with their set opponent for their bowl game bowing out. Now they got someone scheduled because the Independence Bowl's they've been consistent having one of the service schools in there, but I think Louisiana Tech is playing instead of Marshall.
Yep.
Because like 25 of Marshall's starters are going to the portal.
Yeah, that's a good little segue into our next segment here. The transfer portal is a fucking nightmare right now. I don't know what needs to happen to fix this, man. It is open season in college football right now. I get why these guys are still student athletes. They have to get the transfer papers done and completed by the time next semester begins, which is the first week of January. Or second week of January, maybe. But either way, so like it can't wait till the end of college, the end of the season, in theory, because if guys want to play next year, they need to get in for spring ball. And in order to do that, they need to be enrolled for spring semester.
Yeah, this is like the time where every single calendar, regardless what type of calendar school's on, matches up. You've now got these 2 weeks. Everyone starts back on like the 6th of January, like the Monday after New Year's.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they've got to go for it. But there's been some really wild reports of like kids not even in the portal getting offers.
Oh my God. The quarterback stuff.
Yeah.
Like who's the quarterback? I don't even know names. I'm just hearing these figures thrown out. These guys are being offered $2 or $3 million, and these are like mid-tier quarterbacks.
Yeah, people are
It's just
scrambling.
insane. And yeah, they're getting offered this before they're even in the portal. They're just saying, yeah, come over here, we'll pay you $3 million, hop in the portal.
Yeah,
Like, what?
like
That,
that's come
it's
on.
just wrong.
We have rules about recruiting. Like this has to be something that gets covered.
Also, like you how long are we going to be under the guise that these guys don't get special treatment in academia? Also, like, you're telling me that we can't find a way to get these guys into class 3 or 4 weeks late and make it work? Like, there's just no reason that we can't have the transfer portal after the football season.
You guys are
They
hopping
have
in the
to find a
portable
way
for
to do it.
finals. Like we don't know even how they finished this semester,
Yeah,
this term.
they
And
have
they're
to.
eligible to go to another
Yeah,
school. Like, come
yeah.
on.
They have to find a way to fix this. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. Like, maybe you just keep it and just say, if you want to transfer, you're going to miss spring ball at your next stop. I mean, that's one way to make it so it makes it a disadvantage to transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe that cuts down on some of the madness also. If you're going to transfer, you can't do it till the end of the school year. So in May for semester schools, June for other schools, or you
Yeah.
can't do it till the end of the football season. That would be an advantage for Oregon on the quarter system. If you get if the transfer portal starts in February or whatever, the end of January, Oregon guys could come in for spring semester
Yep.
or spring quarter. Just saying, I wouldn't hate it.
No.
But this whole portal thing in the early signing day happening all as bowl season is starting is insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I know that they like want early enrollees for the freshmen. It's like, but why? We don't need to do that. Why don't we just make it so they start school just like every other freshman in college?
Yeah. Or they can go to spring ball in June when they're out of high school.
Yeah, they can start summer
Like
practices.
go to summer practices in June.
Yeah. And also, like, I don't know. There's got to be a way to fix it. I don't have all the answers. If you put me in charge, I would find them. So, NCAA, this is my formal application. Put me in charge. I will fix you.
Guys, NCAA, we need you for something. So
Please fucking
maybe
just
now
maybe
come
do something.
help with something and don't do stupid shit that you normally do.
Yeah.
Like do
I
something that
mean,
would make a difference.
just, I don't know, man. It's nuts. That's all I got. There's no point in even talking about some of these transfers yet, just because it's so crazy. It's changing daily. Like, we'll probably talk about this in the off season, talk about who's moved where and what it looks like for next season. I can't keep up. Like, there's just no
Well, yeah,
way to keep track of this.
I mean, transfer kids, like, I mean, they can be committed, but as we've well seen as Oregon fans, that don't mean jack diddly.
Doesn't mean shit until
That don't mean shit until there's pen on paper, and even then
they could transfer again.
That being said, Dan Lanning is a damn Dyson vacuum sucking up all the top
God, dude.
transfer prospects for the rest of the Big Ten. We're just like building an all-star team.
He really just wants to be the villain.
Yeah, he's sinking into it. Like,
I mean,
shut
with
up
2
year
feet.
And now we're taking all your players.
He's just not even being quiet about it anymore. He's just like, you're gonna hate us, and we don't give a shit.
And I'm gonna give you several reasons.
I'm gonna give you every reason to hate us, and I don't care. We're still gonna beat you.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
I mean, he like on the surface, right? Like, he took the best player from Purdue, which is like whoop-de-doo. He's a first-team All Big Ten defender at safety.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the dude is legit.
Well, and then what, that cornerback from Northwestern?
Corner from Northwestern. Yeah, nuts. And And it stinks, right? Because like Oregon's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys enter the portal. Nobody that's a contributor really. But like I guarantee you, if these guys had their choice, they wouldn't do it before a playoff run.
Yeah.
Even if they're gonna transfer at the end of the year. You don't think they want to be a part of that playoff run? Even if they're like, I'm not playing, I'm gonna transfer next year so I can play somewhere. I just have a hard time believing that any of these guys are like, yeah, I want out right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, then it speaks to like what Penny Dillingham said.
100%.
Like, yeah, like if you're gonna transfer, fine, but you still come to practice, still come work out. Like, be a member of this team until the day you're not, because I'm not gonna have you, miss out on this future opportunity with the postseason and getting yourself better just because you wanted, like, you feel like you owe it or whatever to wait until after all that and then screw yourself out of 6 to 8 months of progress. And so I think that's big, and I mean I expect that from Kenny Dillingham. So yeah, I mean, we'll see probably in the next couple of weeks what's really shaken out and after.
I mean, even then, like, there's going to be guys that, and especially on these playoff teams, that enter after the season still.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Wild shit. I don't know what to make of all of it, but it'll be interesting. I just hope they fix the calendar really at this point, because this all like detracting from bowl season sucks. And we got the best college football playoff ever starting on Saturday or Friday night. And it just seems like all the news is about all these big names. Like Alabama had like 3 contributors enter the portal yesterday.
Yeah.
Just wild stuff. Speaking of the playoff, let's get into the first round of the playoffs because they are happening this weekend. I can't wait, man. Playoffs on campus. It's just going to be so fucking electric. I cannot wait to watch these football games.
Yeah, it's a perfect way to start for these teams. Like, you get a home game. Yeah, you didn't get the bye, but like starting out now, Indiana, the state is going to be on fire.
Oh my God, dude.
With Notre Dame hosting Indiana. But Notre Dame, like, it's just a game like that, being able to see and then diving deeper, like starting on Saturday, some of these games are going to be nuts. And just, oh,
it's so good. Let's dive into them. So let's start with that. Indiana at Notre Dame, Friday night, under the lights. It's going to be cold. I don't know what the forecast is in South Bend, but I would imagine at 8 p.m. on Friday, it's not going to be warm. The good thing is, I guess, if you're Indiana, it's in your home state. It's
a couple hours down the road.
Not like Miami going to Notre Dame.
Exactly. It's not the end of the road or the end of the world. And it's going to be an electric. I think all these are. I really think every single one of these games is going to be nuts. But
you have 4 iconic venues.
Yeah.
Arguably 4 of the top 10 venues in college football.
And 3 of the matchups are things you would never see in regular
season. Other
season.
Than all of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the last time.
None of these games you are going to be used to seeing at all.
But the other 3 have like no chance. Like those teams that are visiting are not going. So.
Oh no, no chance at all. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Indiana could go to Notre Dame.
Not that crazy
on any given year. Yeah,
big for the folks in Indiana. Big for them.
That state.
I mean, you got a Saturday, and the first game in the morning is SMU at Penn State.
Such a bummer. That's a morning game.
Yeah, this is the one I think should have been. I mean, I know why it wasn't the 6 p.m. because of the matchup. Like,
yeah,
it is not the pride high, best top ticket.
Right.
But that would have been a sweet game. Have SMU
oh my God,
for a whiteout at Penn State.
Oh my God.
But still, these kids from Texas got to go to Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, in the middle of December.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it gets chilly in Texas. It doesn't get damn cold like it does in Pennsylvania.
I mean, it's showing game time kickoff temp of 27.
Woof.
Same for the Notre Dame game, and a kickoff temp for Tennessee, Ohio State of 28 degrees.
Yeah, that one's
So let's dive into each individually. Let's start with Indiana, Notre Dame. Friday night, under the lights, Notre Dame Stadium. I've got Notre Dame winning this one. They're a 7.5-point favorite. I was very, very tempted to pick Indiana to cover the spread. I just feel like the moment's going to be too big, especially in the second half. I feel like this one's going to be pretty close in the first half. Indiana is probably going to score a couple big plays. Like I like this Indiana team. So,
yeah.
like, don't get me wrong. I don't think this is going to be some kind of blowout. It just feels like a 10-point Notre Dame win when push comes to shove at the end of it. What do you think?
It really does. I see exactly what you're saying. I've got Notre Dame on the money. I did pick Indiana against the spread purely because in this style of football, a 12-team playoff, I want every game to be excitement. Well, I want all of them except for all the ones Oregon's in. But every other game can be exciting. And I think that, just based on how Indiana has been able to make some things happen, and how, like you said, there's some potential for some big plays that give them some confidence. I just don't know how this Notre Dame team's going to respond. I mean, if Indiana's lucky, they respond like Notre Dame did against NIU. I don't see that being a reality based on how Notre Dame's played since that game.
Right.
But I'd love to see this be like a 7-point Notre Dame victory. Like, I think that would be big for Indiana. And I know that people hate it, but I think it'd be a good moral victory. And I know Indiana wants to win, and I know they want to keep going, and I think they have the drive and the desire to do it. I just think they're gonna be a little outmatched. But I think that if you can hang some big plays on this Notre Dame team and maybe get them on their heels a little bit, it can be a good showing for you. From a team that most people had written off and that didn't belong in here because they didn't have the Ohio State name.
Yeah, I mean, I would love nothing more in life than for Indiana to win this game right now. Okay, maybe not nothing more in life. Nothing more this weekend in particular.
Nothing more on Friday at 6 p.m. would be as important.
I'll go this whole weekend.
Yeah.
Than Indiana to beat Notre Dame. I hate Notre Dame. I hate everything that fucking program stands for. I cannot stand Notre Dame. And Indiana to shut up all those fucking annoying ass Alabama fans out there screaming that they should be in because Indiana's a poser. Just shut them the hell up. I would love nothing more than that.
I agree.
Like, if I'm picking with my heart, I hope Indiana wins this in blowout fashion, and that stadium's dead fucking silent for the entire second half.
I agree.
But logically, that just doesn't make sense. So I'm picking Notre Dame both ways. I'm rooted. I will take the L all day if it means Notre Dame losing.
Agreed.
All right. Let's move to the Saturday slate. It is my mom's birthday. I mentioned on the podcast previously that her birthday didn't matter because of this. And to my surprise, my mom still listens to the show. And I got a phone call after she listened to said episode. And she's like, "Do you have something to tell me?" Like, I have no idea what you're talking
Mom,
about.
I'm not 15. I don't have anything to tell you anymore.
I have no idea what. She's like, "My birthday doesn't matter?" Like,
you're like, "Oh shit."
Oh shit.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Love you.
I was like, if it makes any difference, my birthday doesn't matter anymore now. So, like, anyway, I apologize, Mom. Your birthday matters. However, you can come over and watch football with me if you want, but I'm going to be glued to the television.
You could come over and watch football with the kids.
Yeah. Your grandsons
Really want to see you on your
spent
birthday.
all week with you last week, but they miss you so much already that
So-
they want nothing more than for you to come spend the day
Object
with them
permanence
on
is kicked
Saturday.
in. All right, they miss you.
Kicks off Saturday morning. SMU at Penn State. Penn State's a pretty big favorite here, 8.5 points. I'm picking Penn State to win and cover. I just don't think SMU has the firepower. And this is going to sound stupid with everything we've talked about the Big Ten this year, but to really play big boy football against that Penn State team, who I think found something on offense against Oregon in the Big Ten championship. I just think Penn State's going to be too much for the Mustangs. So I got Penn State. Again, this feels like a 10-14 point 2-score win.
Yeah, I agree. The Penn State team that I saw at the Big Ten championship is different than the one I think we've seen. I mean, we've seen flashes of it all season, but I think that team, like you said, really found something. And I know it's been easy, and of course the narrative has been changed. Franklin doesn't win big games, and that's fine. But this team just looked different, and they were putting together some really, really good plays and some really, really good drives against Oregon to lose by, let's be real, only 8 points.
Right.
Because save 3 plays, really, it would have been by 14-20. And so I just, like you said, I think they're going to be too much to handle for this SMU team, who's had a different road. All props to them for what they did in the ACC this season. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them back here next year.
Right.
Or at least at the top of the ACC. But it's more about what this Penn State team has developed into. And if they can tap into that, if it can be the Big Ten championship game, I think, 14 points is pretty solid.
Yeah. Yep, agreed. Clemson at Texas. This one is very interesting because the spread is Texas -12. But if you look at Texas's games this year, they really haven't beat anybody of note. And they struggled against the teams that are of note. Georgia lost twice. Texas A&M only scored 17 points. The defense showed up that day, only gave up 7, but that's not impressive.
I mean, Arkansas 20-10. They beat them by 10 points.
Vanderbilt won by 3.
Yeah. And so, yeah.
So on paper, Texas is great. But Sark kind of has the same problem that James Franklin has. He just doesn't seem to get it done. And I said it last year in the playoffs against Washington. When that game kicked off, right before the teams ran out of the tunnel, I knew Washington was going to win that game because Sark freaked the fuck out. He was losing his mind. He lost his mind on the guy that was holding him back, right? He screamed at him.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't have it. And Kalen DeBoer just was cool as a cucumber on the sideline. He has big game problems.
Yeah, I think that what this season has shown is you have to have ice in your veins, regardless of who you're playing.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm a homer. I'm absolutely a homer. Dan's had it. When you look at him and when you've got even the Boise State game, in his face, he was hyped, but there was never doubt.
No.
And when you see a coach that has doubt like Sark has, and how he had it last season, and like you said, to the contrast of Kalen DeBoer, who was just I'm going to come beat you.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks a lot to how you can prepare. Yeah. So I don't think this game is a true 5 versus 12 matchup.
No, it certainly doesn't feel like it. And it definitely doesn't feel like the number 3 versus the number 16, right? Because in the rankings, that's what these teams are.
Yeah.
Texas at 11.5 when we made these picks, and I'm going to keep them just because Eli and Chris have made their picks in here as well. I've got Texas winning, but Clemson covering. I don't believe in Quinn Ewers. I don't believe in Sark. I don't believe in Clemson either in the long run. But this just feels like it's going to be one of those really ugly, like big plays happen for stupid reasons on both sides. And Texas is just going to crawl out on top at the end of it.
And I think so. I have Texas moneyline Clemson to beat the spread. Because 11.5 points with this Texas team that has shown that they can play down to just about anybody.
Yeah.
And has I don't know what we're gonna see. I think hopefully by kickoff you're going, all right, like they look charged. They look like they're feeling right. And it's gonna be a huge upside that they're at home. Like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You get a huge boost by being at home, especially in a situation like this. That even like the bye teams aren't gonna get in neutral territories. So that's gonna help them a lot. I think that could be the deciding factor in, like you said, a game that's just going to be a drag out brawl that goes 12 rounds and you're really just waiting to see who's less bloody at the end.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know shit. So Texas could win by 22, I guess, but that's not what I'm seeing historically.
Honestly, other than SMU Penn State, I feel like any of these games could go any direction. Either team could blow out the other team because they've shown ineptitude. I guess I don't see Ohio State getting blown out at home, but like the rest of them, I could see any outcome.
Yeah.
Honestly. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Tennessee at Ohio State is the last one. It's the nightcap on Saturday. The shoe's going to be rocking. It's a scarlet out. And I saw Ohio State is bringing back the scarlet pants for this one. So they're going to be in all scarlet.
There you go.
It's a good look. I do dig that. Ohio State's a 7-point favorite. This one's been the hardest for me to pick. When I first typed this out, I picked Tennessee to win straight up. And then I thought about it, and I was like, Ohio State has the best roster on paper in college football. I get that Ryan Day has his challenges, and they're down, but I feel like they're going to bounce back. And then I keep coming back to that loss against Michigan is a soul crusher, and they can't come back from it. So I honestly, I have Ohio State winning and covering written right now. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to change it. Tennessee is at least going to cover. I don't know if I can talk myself into them winning in the shoe, but that's what I feel like is going to happen. I just feel like this Ohio State team lost their will against Michigan. I don't know, man. The other side of it is you come together and you it's us against the world, right? Which of those is it going to be?
Yeah, and I mean,
I don't have the answer to that.
I don't know if that's a great message, but that's really that's the message you have right now. Is the last game of the season you lost to Michigan at home. You had the whole kerfuffle at the end. Like, you've got to come back and defend the shoe. And some of those kids were broken.
They might get booed.
I mean, so
Ryan Day might be that team might be getting booed at home coming out of the tunnel.
They're definitely gonna get booed if they let Chip Kelly continue to call some of that bullshit.
I don't know. This game, I'm so intrigued by this football game. So and I also think Tennessee is getting wildly overlooked in this whole thing. Just because they kind of backed their way in. They had that blowout win against Vanderbilt to end the season. The last time we saw them not play well was when they got blown out by Georgia in Georgia, which happens to just about everybody. I don't know, man. I just this one's wild. I'm gonna stick with Ohio State and Tennessee covering, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I am very shy on Ohio State right now. I'll know early in the game. Like if we were doing a live show, I would know very early on if I was right or not.
Yeah.
But going into it, I have no fucking clue what Ohio State team's going to show up. This is another one. I hope Tennessee wins. I want Tennessee to march in there and just break Ohio State. I want that fan base to be in tears. Especially because their AD already came out and said, regardless of what happens in the playoffs, we're keeping Ryan Day.
Yeah. Let's make him eat those words.
That fan base is going to be in shambles if they lose this football game. And I'm here for that. So that's what I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Ohio State and have Tennessee to cover. Looks like we all did that across the board. We all also picked Penn State across the board. And Chris and I both have Notre Dame winning and covering. You and Eli both have Notre Dame winning and Indiana covering. And then all of us except for Eli have Texas winning and Clemson covering. Eli's got Texas covering that 11.5 point spread. So that's the playoff. We do have best bets lined up. I have Clemson plus 11.5 as my best bet. That just feels too big for me, especially with Quinn Ewers. I don't believe in that guy. Eli has Penn State minus 8.5. I regret not picking that one as I sit here right now. But
that would have been a good one to pick.
But that's where we're at. Okay, that's the playoffs. I can't wait, man. We're finally here.
Yeah.
All the bullshit aside, all the, like whining about the seeding, which I do a lot of. Like it's over now. Let's play football.
Yep.
Excited for it. All right, let's jump into these other bowl games. We don't know when we're going to record again because we're getting into the holidays and people are traveling and seeing family and doing all that jazz. So we're just going to pick all these bowl games. We're going to do it relatively quickly because there's a lot of them. We'll highlight some of the bigger matchups and then we'll just breeze through kind of the rest of them. All right. We picked through Cal UNLV last week.
Yep.
So let's start with, hold on, I need to pull up these bowl names. Cal UNLV. All right. Thursday, December 19th, we have the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Georgia Southern against Sam Houston. I got Georgia Southern winning and covering.
Same. I don't know why.
Chris has Sam Houston winning and covering, obviously. Georgia Southern's a 6-point spread. Chris has Sam Houston both ways. Eli has Georgia Southern winning and Sam Houston covering. Ohio at Jacksonville State in the Staff DNA Cure Bowl. Yep. Ohio is a 3-point favorite. I'm picking Ohio to win and cover.
Same.
All of us are except for Chris, who wants to be different with Jacksonville State. Tulane at Florida in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. These names are wild.
What's the cost to get a bowl game these days?
Seriously. This is a sneaky fun matchup. This Tulane team was looking like a playoff contender basically until the last week of the season when they lost to Memphis. And then they went and got blown out by Army in the American Championship game. Florida, a team that's been playing hot the last half of the season, couple upsets, really kind of come into their own. Florida is a 14-point favorite when we did this. I'm picking Florida to win and cover.
Yeah, I am in agreement with you on both those points.
So is Eli, and Chris has Tulane covering that 14-point spread. It is a large spread. It's the second largest spread on here. I just think Florida is going to be too much.
Yep.
All right. Coastal Carolina at who are they playing?
Texas San Antonio.
UTSA in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. No title sponsor. Love that.
I think it's sponsored by the city of Myrtle Beach. Like their vacation board.
Good for them. UTSA is an 8.5-point favorite. I've got UTSA winning, Coastal covering.
And I have Coastal both ways because you got a rock-a-doodle-doo with the Chanticleers.
The Chanticleers. Chris also has that. Eli has UTSA both ways. Northern Illinois and Fresno State play in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. One of the best, unless you're watching it because it's on that gross blue turf, but one of the best names. Northern Illinois is a 3-point favorite. I've got Northern Illinois winning and covering this one.
As do Eli and I.
And then there's Chris being an outlier. Chris is either going to just make like a full comeback, or just be toasted in this.
He said that his spreadsheet's the exact same as his bowl pick'em.
I like that. Mine's not.
No.
I guarantee you mine's not.
No.
I did them at separate times and haven't looked at either since I made the picks.
I'm not going to look at my pick'em for at least another week.
Yeah.
Because can't change it now.
Right. South Florida against San Jose State in the Hawaii Bowl. Another one. Hawaii just sponsors this one. Good for them. Sneakily, a bowl game that every team wants to go to because you get to go to Hawaii probably for like a week. San Jose State is a 5-point favorite when we picked this. I've got them winning and covering.
We all do, baby.
That's a long way for those South Floridians to go.
Well, I picked them because they're my dynasty team, one of our leagues, and
that's fair.
I gotta hope that some other coach is better for them than I am. And I might be able to win this game. So
valid.
Their real coach is better than me.
That's
I think
fair.
they got a chance.
That's fair. Pittsburgh and Toledo play in the Game Above Sports Bowl. Sweet. That one's in Detroit, Michigan. Pitt is a 7-point favorite. I've got Pitt winning and covering. This one
again
could have probably been my best bet, honestly.
Yeah, again, we all do. We all have different reasons. Pitt's another one of my dynasty teams. And we just beat number 16 Penn State today. So
12, but yeah.
In our second season, be as head coach. So, I'm riding with Pitt.
Riding with the Panthers. All right. Rutgers and Kansas State play in the Rate Bowl in Arizona.
You say rate?
Rate. Just rate.
Like
Rate Bowl.
I think that's like a banking app.
Sure.
Okay.
It's at Chase Field, so they got the bank theme going on. Wow, it's at the baseball field in Phoenix. They couldn't even do it at the football field in Phoenix. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Kansas State is a 7-point favorite. I've got Kansas State winning and Rutgers covering. I was very close to picking Rutgers in this one. Haven't been super impressed with Kansas State, honestly, since they beat Colorado. They've kind of fallen off. They had the whole thing right in front of them there, and they just choked it away. And on the flip side, I have been impressed by Rutgers at times this season. This one's going to be a sneaky fun game, I feel like. I'm picking Kansas State to win and Rutgers to cover. It just feels like one of those really close games.
Yeah, I've got Rutgers both ways. I think this is Rutgers by 10, but it's going to be a fun game to watch.
Chris has Kansas State winning, Rutgers covering. Eli's got Rutgers both ways also. All right, Arkansas State against Bowling Green in the 68 Ventures Bowl.
Love it. Love it. Of course.
Bowling Green is 7-point favorite. I've got them winning and covering.
As do I and Eli.
And then there's Chris.
And then there's Chris. There's always Chris.
Jamie's defense. Did Jamie teach you his defense? I can tell. I can't take full credit for that defense. Eli's the one that showed me. So if you want to blame anybody, it's Eli. All right. This is another good matchup. Oklahoma and Navy in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. Oklahoma is a 7.5-point favorite. I think Navy's just going to go in and win this one.
Yeah, Navy's coming off a huge win, and they're going to ride that high against an Oklahoma team who has but one game been bad.
And even in that one game, they had
team
it
was
handed
better.
to them. The other team literally threw them
the ball.
Game.
And Navy never throws the ball. So
yeah.
I think Blake Horvath is gonna take that Navy team to a victory.
Yep. All right.
Hold up the phone. Eli has Oklahoma money line by winning by less than 7.5. This is gonna be a tight one for Eli.
He's just un-American. That's all that means.
No, he picked Army later on. He's good.
He's half good.
Not the way it counts.
Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt. This is a fun, nerdy matchup.
Yeah, these are two teams that just played outside of their minds a couple times this season and just get to go and swing at each other and be like,
this
no,
one's fun.
I'm the biggest schedule ruiner. No, I'm the biggest schedule ruiner.
This one's a lot of fun. I like this. This is the kind of bowl game I like watching.
Yes.
Honestly, you could flip a coin, and I would be okay picking either team. I'm picking Vandy just for the story. They haven't been to a bowl game in fucking forever. And I think it would be fun for them to win. I, however, don't like that because the SEC would just be even more obnoxious about it at that point. So that would kind of suck. But I'm picking Vandy. All the rest of you are picking Georgia Tech.
Yep.
Good with that. I'm good either way on that one. It's just fun. Texas Tech and Arkansas play in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Arkansas is a 1-point favorite. I'm picking the Red Raiders.
Me too. It looks like everyone except for Chris is.
There's a theme here.
Yeah. Pretty consistent there.
You know, it's pretty funny. There's so many opposites. We're probably all going to end up with pretty close to the same record at the end of this.
Yeah.
Even though Chris picked so many different. Syracuse and Washington State play in the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. Another fun matchup. Syracuse is a 9-point favorite on our spreadsheet. I've got Syracuse winning and covering. Washington State was a nice story early again and has fallen off.
Yeah.
And that loss to Oregon State basically makes it so I can't pick them to win any bowl game.
Yeah, their loss to Oregon State, Syracuse win over Miami. That was an easy flip for me.
Yeah, easy. And across the board.
Yeah, I mean, you can't lose the Pac-12 and, get me to root for you.
Nope. Okay. Let's see. UNC and Texas A&M.
USC.
Sorry, USC. Southern Cal playing Texas A&M in the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Texas A&M is a 3.5-point favorite. They're going to win, and they're going to cover because USC can't cover anybody.
And we all say so.
Yep. And we all say so.
So say we all.
Let's see. Boston College and Nebraska play in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
Hell yeah.
at
Hell
Yankee
yeah.
Stadium.
We'll get lawnmowers because that's an NIL deal I'd be behind. Give me a ride on. Yeah.
Nebraska's a 2.5 point favorite. Because I can't, I
Yep.
won't.
Yep.
Boston College is going to win this.
And because we all did pick Nebraska except you.
It would be so funny for me if they still finish with a losing record.
Yep.
It would be amazing. So I'm going with that. Louisiana and TCU play in the Ileta, New Mexico Bowl.
Okay.
Sure. TCU's a 13-point favorite. That feels large. I'm picking TCU to win. Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns to cover.
Is that Louisiana Lafayette?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got.
Show is.
Why did I put Texas Tech? That was weird. I was like, what game am I looking at?
That is weird.
But TTU. Yeah, I got TCU. They're gonna win by like 6.
Chris has somehow Louisiana Lafayette winning and TCU covering, which is not possible.
That's
so I'm
not how
going to go
scores
ahead
work.
and say that Louisiana is going to also cover when they win.
Yeah, we can argue about cover and against the spread, but Chris can't do what he just tried to. The points don't work that way, Chris.
That is not how it works. So we're going to save you because that would have been an auto loss. Iowa State and Miami. This one's fun. And the Pop-Tarts Bowl, also the best bowl game.
Dude, best bowl game trophy.
Best bowl game trophy. Best bowl game that should also win an Oscar. Did you see the trailer that was put out today?
Yeah.
For this?
Dude.
It's so fucking good. This bowl game, this is how bowl games should be.
I'm buying some damn Pop-Tarts.
1,000%, dude. The bowl. So for those that don't know, the Pop-Tarts Bowl last year came out with a mascot, which is the best thing ever. It's just a Pop-Tart, but it was the best thing ever. And the trophy was also awesome. But they went ahead this year and one up themselves by partnering with GE and making the trophy an actual working toaster.
Yep. There's a football on top and it will toast Pop-Tarts. And they unveiled it by pressing the toaster and eating the Pop-Tarts.
So good. Amazing.
Fucking America, bro.
So good.
The European mind can't comprehend.
I want to know how many Pop-Tarts these players get.
Dude.
It's probably an insane amount.
Like, yeah.
And I also hope they have like an unlimited supply on the sideline. Like these guys are just going over and gnawing on some Pop-Tarts between series. Because neither of these teams are where they want to be, right? Like they don't want to be playing in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, so just lean into the whole thing.
Or at least, like the bags of like the Pop-Tart minis.
Yeah.
Just like the figure food size. Yeah, just gnaw on those. You got some toaster ovens on the side. Like, let's just get some hot Pop-Tarts in our mouths.
Just get O linemen over there, just like shoving their face with Pop-Tarts.
Toss me a Diet Coke and some Pop-Tarts, and we'll get back in there on the next drive. I promise you.
Miami is a 4-point favorite here. I don't know if Cam Ward's playing or not. I don't think that's come out. So, like, there's a lot of asterisks in a lot of these games. I haven't heard of any holdouts, but
we got time.
If key players do decide that they're going to hold out, I'm going to go ahead for all of us and reserve our right to change some of these picks just because, like, if Cam Ward's not playing, I'm picking Iowa State.
Yeah.
Because Miami's defense is trash.
Yeah. They've won by outscoring kind of people. Like
that being said, we all have Miami winning and covering.
We do.
For right now.
We do.
Miami of Ohio and Colorado State playing in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl.
Fuck yes.
This was the Barstool Arizona Bowl, so I didn't know that Barstool backed out. But Snoop Dogg sponsoring bowl game is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, Dave Portnoy doesn't have that Penn sports betting money anymore.
It's fair. That's fair. Miami of Ohio is a 3-point favorite against the Rammies. I'm picking them to win and cover, much for the same reason. Although I kind of root for little brother a little bit sometimes, just not this time.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I saw that. I mean, for me, this was kind of a coin flip, and Colorado State's just that way. So by like a little bit. So I'll pick them. Eli's got them as well. Chris matched your energy with Miami of Ohio across the board.
Nice. I also think Miami of Ohio was very impressive in their conference championship win a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
And so
that's fair.
I just feel like they're playing better ball at
That's
the
fair.
moment. Let's see. What is next? BYU and Colorado. Two Big 12 teams facing off in the Valero Alamo Bowl. This is where conference realignment comes back to bite you in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Because Colorado and all the rest of the Pac-12 teams from last year that left are still playing in the Pac-12 aligned bowls.
Yep.
Because that's how it works, I guess.
At
Couldn't
least
tell you when that is. I think it's this year and next year.
Yeah.
Colorado's a 3-point favorite in this one. Shador and Travis and all of them are playing. I just feel like this is going to be a Colorado 14-17. I wouldn't be surprised with a 21-point win.
Yeah, this is hey, remember how we didn't play each other this year? Fuck you.
Yeah. Yep.
Fuck you.
Deion's got something to prove. He's flying Peggy down in a private jet.
Hell yeah. Little PJ out of Broomfield.
Colorado's going to get the win here.
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana Tech and Army. Louisiana Tech backing their way in, as you mentioned earlier, because of Marshall's inability to field a team for this one. In the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, Army is a 16.5-point favorite, and that is not big enough.
No.
Army's going to be big mad.
Yeah.
And Louisiana Tech's going to be on the wrong end.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech went like 5-7 for a reason this season. And Army's going to remind them that they were not bowl eligible.
Yep.
Like, congrats on being an alternate, but nah, yeah. you came for no reason.
Nope. I mean, they still should go, right? Like, you should always play in a bowl game.
Always.
You get 15 more practices.
Mm-hmm.
Your freshmen can, if they've enrolled early, can come practice. I mean, it's invaluable time.
Absolutely.
And experience. That being said,
Marshall did you dirty.
They're going to get waxed.
Marshall did you dirty.
Chris in the chat, Keurig needs to sponsor a bowl now. Give us a trophy that makes coffee. Yeah, dude. I think there's going to be some copycats out there that take this Pop-Tarts model.
Mm-hmm.
Like I guess I'm not surprised. I don't know if bowls want to be sponsored by beer companies, but like have a keg as a trophy. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Iowa and Missouri face off in the Transperfect Music City Bowl. Missouri's a 3-point favorite. Go Hawkeyes. Rooting for the Big Ten here.
Yep.
I also just am like wildly unimpressed with Missouri this year. And I just think that Iowa defense is going to be too much.
I agree. Yeah, we got Iowa across the board except for Chris. Weep womp.
Weep womp. Alabama and Michigan. Now, if you had said at the beginning of the season that Alabama and Michigan were playing in a bowl game, it would have been the playoff.
Yeah, that's what I would have assumed.
But it's not.
Sure
and in
ain't.
fact, it is so much not that it is in the ReliaQuest Bowl that I've never even heard of.
Oh, yes. The famed ReliaQuest Bowl of 2024.
In Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida.
Yeah, that's the one. Found that one too. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Alabama's a 10-point favorite. Michigan has 0 offense. I don't care how many players Alabama lost. this is going to be a blowout.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the thing that happens. I'm trying to look up Rely Requests. I don't know anything about it, but they did put up at the top of their website that this bowl game brings an economic impact for the Tampa Bay area of $1.2 billion, which is pretty big for that area this time of year.
Billion with a B?
Yeah, it's probably over the history of the bowl game.
I was going to say, I don't think.
So they have like 3 figures here and like 176 million paid to universities. That's the only one. Oh, there's the asterisk. They just put it in like a weird spot. It makes it look like it's just under the paid to universities.
Yeah.
I was like, 1.2 billion. Like, how many people go to this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think if I lived in Tampa, I'd go to this.
I will say I've been opportunistic one time. I was in Houston for Christmas visiting my grandparents, and we went to, I don't even know what the bowl was. It was at Reliant. At the time, it was Reliant. Now it's NRG Stadium. It was like UTSA and UTEP playing or something like that. And it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So I would go to this if I lived in Tampa. First of all, it's Alabama and Michigan, so fuck yeah. But anyway, regardless, this is going to be a blowout. Bama's going to wax Michigan here.
Agreed.
Louisville and Washington play in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Louisville's a 2.5-point favorite. Louisville by a milli.
Yeah, I couldn't pick Washington even if I thought they were the better team, and they are not.
They're not.
Louisville by about
milli.
50.
Yeah, this should be a blowout. Washington
should be the biggest
not
spread.
any good.
They are garbage poo-poo.
Garbo poo-poo. South Carolina and Illinois. This one's fun. In the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, South Carolina is a 9.5-point favorite. I was very tempted to pick Illinois to cover that spread. However,
Beamer ball.
South Carolina is rolling right now. I think they want to show the world that they belonged in the playoff. They've got their quarterback coming back. I'm blanking his name right now. Oh, why am I blanking his name right now? Lenora Sellers, sneaky Heisman contender for next year. I just think they're going to be too much for Illinois. I've got South Carolina pretty big.
Yeah, I would be willing to put South Carolina by like at least 14.
Yeah, I was thinking 17 to 20.
Yeah, 2 to 3 scores.
Yep.
And we're the only ones that think so, because the other two numbskulls have Illinois covering.
Of course, Eli does. That's like his one claim to fame this year. He's at least owned up a couple times, but he often doesn't mention the fact that a playoff team is who he picked as the last team in the Big Ten this year.
True.
And that was Indiana.
True.
He did get to slap me because don't do it.
Oh,
fuck. You're supposed to be on my side. You picked them to lose big with me. You're supposed to be on my team.
But we're talking about Eli.
That is such a good soundbite.
It is. It will live on forever. Much like the team they're playing against. Yeah, that's where they're from. Yep, you got that, Eli.
So good. Baylor and LSU playing in the Kinder's Texas Bowl. LSU is a 1-point favorite. This feels like a wild spread to me. I don't know if Vegas just knows something that we don't know. And I know Baylor was playing pretty good ball at the end of the year, but like they still struggled to beat Oklahoma State. They still struggled to beat TCU. They didn't play great against a bad Houston team. And I get that LSU's not great, and I really don't like Brian Kelly at all, but 1 point seems wild. So I've got LSU winning and covering here pretty easily.
Yeah, I think we've all got that. I do have one hope for this, and it's for everyone that's going, is that they have the full smattering of Kinder's sauces at concession stands. Because if you don't, you miss the opportunity with some of the greatest from the store bottled sauces that you can get, in my very humble and rounded opinion.
Well-rounded.
Okay, well, all right. I love their Carolina mustard. So,
Well-researched. How's that? Is that
yeah,
better?
I put a lot of time and effort in my research on that one.
Well-researched opinion.
Yep.
Duke and Ole Miss playing after the second round of the playoffs. That's fun for them. In the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Ole Miss is a large favorite at 14.5 points. Doesn't feel like enough. Ole Miss is going to roll.
They are going to take them to town.
North Texas and Texas State play in the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl. First of all, great title sponsor for that one. Texas State is a 10-point favorite. Feels too big. Texas State's going to win. North Texas is going to cover.
Texas State is going to win by 11, so it's just perfect.
And Eli agrees with you, and Chris is picking North Texas all the way. Minnesota at Virginia Tech. Not at Virginia Tech. Minnesota and Virginia Tech play in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, so the winning coach has to be dumped, have mayo dumped on them, which is disgusting.
Yeah.
Minnesota's a 6.5 point favorite. Again, doesn't feel like enough. I've got Minnesota winning, covering.
Agreed. We all do.
Buffalo and Liberty close out the bowl slate.
In probably one of the best bowl game locations.
In
Nassau, Bahamas.
Yep. That or Hawaii. They can duke it out, but
this is closer.
Yep. Buffalo and Liberty. Liberty's right now it's a 0.5 point favorite, but they're a 1 point favorite on our spreadsheet. Coin flip game. I'm picking Buffalo. Just I couldn't tell you why.
Don't need a reason. I got Buffalo as well.
And Eli and Chris both have Liberty.
Maybe, it's just because we're CU fans. We're like, anytime you give me a chance to root for Buffalo anything.
Buffalo, yeah.
You're in. The city, the team,
Also
the wings. I got it.
Yep. Liberty also lost to Kennesaw State, which is just a bad look.
Yeah, broke Kennesaw State's extreme slide.
That was their only win.
Yeah.
I think all year. Is that true? Is that true? Come on, internet. Nope. They also beat FIU.
They did. At 1 point.
Their 2 wins were by a combined 4 points.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Yeah, Buffalo's winning this one. Sorry, boys.
Buffalo's winning this one. Okay. That's the bowl slate. I know that was long-winded, but we had to do it. Got to get the picks on the airwaves.
It's true.
So people can't say we're cheating, even though we have asterisks out there reserving our right to change picks.
Well, technically, picks don't lock in on ESPN until game time.
That's true.
So you can always change them.
That is true. And we also have we're going to have the second round of the playoffs that we have to pick. Obviously, those matchups aren't set. It will be, let's see what that is. We've got Oregon playing the winner of Tennessee, Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. We've got Georgia playing the winner of Indiana, Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl. Boise State playing the winner of SMU, Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl. And Arizona State playing the winner of Clemson, Texas in the Peach Bowl. And those all take place either New Year's Eve or New Year's Day.
Yep. And I know how I'm picking.
How are you picking while we're here?
Not saying it out loud.
Why?
Because there's only one little track that matters for me.
I mean, yeah.
No,
you're gonna have to say it at some point.
Georgia Georgia wins in the second round.
Okay.
Boise State's going to lose to Penn
Agreed.
State.
Agreed.
And winner of Clemson, Texas will be Arizona State.
You're gonna have to pick the other one and say it on air, whether you want to do it or not.
I think that I have 14 days.
Okay.
So,
I think we know how you're picking. Also,
yeah. This isn't like, picking a March Madness bracket where I'm like, well, they had a good run. Nope. This one's all the way through, baby.
all the way through. Let's see how I had. I'm trying to remember how I had this going.
Did you already
The
do a
one
college football playoff bracket?
I did. Let me see if I can pull that up. Because I did pick one surprise, and I think the surprise was that I have Arizona State beating the winner of Texas and Clemson. But let me pull mine up.
I would definitely like that semifinals matchup more.
Nope, I did. I picked no surprises.
Chalk?
I went very chalk. Other than Penn State beating Boise State, which I still think is chalk. Other than that, I have the favorites winning every game.
Me too. And you know what? Starting on Friday, we get to find out.
I'm so excited, dude. Finally all of the noise can go away. We can stop speculating. We can stop all of it. We just get to watch. We get to watch playoff college football games on campus this weekend. And that is just fucking awesome.
Yes, sir.
All right. You get to do the buzzer beater because I said so. Listener, viewer, thank you for tuning in. We love you. You guys are the best. Like, comment, share, all that stuff because we don't do it, so we need you to. Eli and Chris, thanks for not showing up. Chris, at least you showed up in the chat. To my co-host Eli, I hope you lose all your games. Except the ones that I also picked. So there. Zeta June, thank you for letting us use your music in the outro. Y'all rock. Until next time, Cameron, please take us away.
All right, chat, listener. If you can't be good at it.
Deuces.